Welcome back, everyone, to another incredible episode of Chat with Dan. Now, before we start, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to checking this out. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow, it helps a lot, and again, thank you. Have an incredible day or evening, depending where you are, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe. Welcome back, everyone, to another incredible episode of Chat with Dan. For today, we have the amazing, the badass, epic Charlotte here. How are you today?
I'm great, thank you, Dan. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you so much for accepting. I mean, what better way to have an epic Friday than to be talking with someone as epic and badass as you? You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Absolutely. Now, for those who don't know, who is the incredible, amazing, super awesome Charlotte, please tell us who you are.
So I work as an actor. I'm originally from Norway. I was born and raised there, but I moved to Toronto about 4 years ago and have been working in the industry here since then.
Fantastic. Now, let's go back in time here and tell me where the journey through acting started. Like, what triggered it?
Yeah, so I was mesmerized by musicals when I was a little girl. And I remember going to a musical with my grandmother, and it had a big impact on me. They were announcing that they were doing auditions for their next musical. I was 4.5 at the time, so I was too young to audition, but somehow they let me audition anyway. And I ended up getting the part, and I performed in musicals for about almost a decade after that. So that's how it all started for me.
Amazing. That's really cool. But tell me, like, what made you to move from Norway to Toronto?
Yeah, I wanted to get some international experience. And I know that Toronto, it has a big industry. There are a lot of stuff shooting here. And so I actually just reached out to a couple of agents in Toronto. I went to school in Australia and I had such a great impression of Canadians and really got along so well with all the Canadians there. And they opened up my eyes to Canada. And it was also a lot easier to get an acting permit there because I only wanted to go for a little bit and kind of check it out. So Canada was an easier option in that way as well. And I got an agent, so I decided to come over and I did a few projects. Wasn't planning on staying permanently, but eventually I just ended up loving it so much. And I've been so lucky here and blessed to be working a lot. So I just kind of decided to stay and stay. And now it's definitely more of a permanent thing.
Amazing. Amazing. Now, moving on here a little bit and focusing a little bit more on your acting career, tell me how you prepare a character. Now, we understand, of course, that depends on the role. But what is your initial approach? Let's say that, like, what are some of the steps that you do before diving into this whole character creation process?
Yeah, so it's a process that I really love to dive into because there's so many layers and treasures to be found in that process. It all obviously all starts with reading the script thoroughly over and over again and really peeling back the layers of the character and finding their truth. So who are they? What motivates them? And what is their journey throughout the script? What is their character journey that they're going through? But also trying to discover what led them up to that point. What's their backstory and who and what kind of experiences in the past made them who they are today. Um, and never judging the character, always coming from a place of compassion and understanding. As an actor, it's your job to really understand your character and to justify their behaviors. And you obviously also have talks with the director and establishing more of their story there. And I also love to journal about my characters, just writing down what I who I find them to be and their stories, and that's very helpful as well.
Wow, that's incredible. I love it, and also like the fact that you put that you put a lot of work to it. Besides that, might some people might think that it's just learning your lines and that's it. So the fact that you really put your mind to it in order to, but I mean, at the end of the day, your body is the instrument from this character who is gonna tell the story, you know. So that I find pretty cool when you get the chance to kind of put yourself, let's say, aside for a bit and be somebody else, you know.
Absolutely, and learning the lines is obviously also a very
Yeah, of
important
course.
part of it. But there's so much more than that. But yeah, one of the main things is coming prepared to set. You know, knowing who the character is, knowing your lines, being
Yeah,
ready to deliver.
absolutely incredible. Now, has it ever happened to you that there was this character that took you, yeah, that took you more than usual, let's say.
I don't know more than usual, but you know, it all depends on the size of the project. I did two feature films last year, and I had the lead in those, and those types of projects are, you know, are more of a process
Yeah,
to prepare for. Um, so you know, that's it just all depends on the size of the role.
absolutely, absolutely. Wow, that's incredible. And tell me, like, what is your main goal? You know, like, what is the thing you want to achieve when you're about to play a character?
Yes, I always strive to portray the truth of the character to the best of my ability, and to also be the best team member that I can be, and positively impact the people on set that are around me. Filmmaking is a very collaborative process, and all of our dynamics influence each other and the group dynamic.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And also bringing something of value to the person who's watching, if that's, you know, inspiration or a sense of relatableness or comfort, whatever that is, bringing something substantial to the audience.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. Now, let's say that one day I call you and I tell you that I want to become an actor. Now, based on what you know, what do you think would be important for me to know? As for someone who doesn't know anything about it, has zero experience, what
Mm.
advice could you give me?
I would say that you have to first and foremost be absolutely certain that this is something you want to do,
Yeah.
because I think it requires a tremendous amount of passion and dedication. And so, you know, if you're absolutely sure that this is something that you cannot kind of live without doing, then I would suggest, you know, go and train with a good acting coach, get headshots, work for free,
Yeah.
to fill up your resume with experience, and to put together a show reel. Your show reel, your resume, and your headshot, those three things are your selling point. And then once you have that package, you need to do some research and submit it to a few agents that you think could be a good fit for you. And then just also all the while working on strengthening your mental health,
Hmm.
because being an actor is incredibly challenging on many levels. But you know, the rejection that we deal with, I think that's important to just be aware of, first of all, and to kind of work on your self image and self esteem, and not take those things personally,
Hmm.
and just kind of keep working on your craft. And we only have so much control as actors. We can only, you know, what we can only focus on the things that we can control. We can control how much we train, rehearse for a role. We can control what kind of audition tape we choose to submit. And after that, you know, the rest is up to the universe. It's out of our control, and just being okay with that, and kind of letting it go after you've submitted that tape.
Hmm. Okay, I'll take that into consideration if I ever become an actor. Once I win my Oscar as Best Actor, I'll be mentioning you on my thank you speech. I love it.
Wonderful.
I love it. Now, but tell me, like how you manage that rejection. I mean, from all of the actors that I've interviewed, I mean, rejection is, and also you mentioned, it's part of the whole gig. Let's say, right? So how you handle that rejection?
Yeah, I think that was something that was a process for me as well. And I used to be so attached to my auditions and the characters that I would audition to for, because you know, you kind of you want it so much, and you kind of fall in love with these characters that you're auditioning for, and you start to think about how it would be to play them, and you get attached. And I think it's important for me to, what has helped me has been to look at it in a way of, I get to do this audition, and that is an end in itself. So my performance is given, my final performance is kind of given when I do the audition, and when I send it off, I've done my job for this character. And then if I get to revisit that later, if I get the part, that's amazing, and if I don't, I don't. And it's also about knowing that every single time you submit an audition, you are establishing a relationship with that specific casting director. So just because you don't get a part doesn't mean that it was a waste. So
Totally.
always just looking at every single audition as a building block, and looking at it also as, free training, or and and kind of having fun with it. That has helped me a lot.
Absolutely. Okay. That's awesome. And yeah, I mean, nobody likes being rejected, right? So I find pretty important, or yeah, I find pretty cool that everyone has like their own thing to kind of handle that, yeah, that
Yeah.
situation, you know?
And I think also, there are so many factors that play in here,
Absolutely.
and we don't know half of the things that are going on when someone selects someone for a role. So it's just so important to not take it personally, and to know your worth, and to keep that worth high, and to know that you have something to contribute with in the industry. And if you just keep trying and you push hard enough, eventually, you will start to book.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. Now, my next question here is, along, yeah, like during your whole acting career, what has been some of the worst or funniest auditions you ever had?
Um, let's see. Well, I had one recently that was just terrible because of technical issues. I was trying to audition with my acting coach over Zoom, and he was recording it on Zoom, and I did like a backup on my phone, but the Zoom recording, for some reason, the quality was so terrible that I couldn't submit it, and
Yeah.
my phone was angled weird, so that you didn't, it wasn't like the a good framing of me. And I was traveling to Norway like the next day. I couldn't do it again, and it was, so my advice, or like my teaching from that, was always make sure that like technicalities are
Yeah.
100% taken care of, because you don't want that to ruin what could have been a good audition.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the end, technology. I mean, you are preaching to the choir here. I totally understand what
Yeah.
you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes just things don't work.
Yes, and it's unfortunate, but I think as an actor these days, with all the self tapes that we're now doing, being tech savvy is a skill that you need to have, and you need to kind of set yourself up properly in that respect.
Oh, yeah. Totally. Totally. Now, let's say that for your birthday, you get a time machine. But here's the
Mhm.
catch, you can only travel once to meet the 13-year-old version of yourself. So, what advice would you give to that little you?
Oh, I would say just embrace, your uniqueness, your bliss. Always keep following your bliss, and don't compare yourself to anybody else. We're all so different, and we're all on our unique life journeys. Enjoy that time, because it's such a precious time of your life to just be,
Yeah,
young, free, and careless, and play.
there you go. All right, I'll take it. Now, if you could describe your whole career, but on a drink, how would you like?
um,
What drink would be?
You know what? The first thing that pops into my mind is celery juice, because I drink celery juice every morning. I think
Okay.
I run on celery juice. So that's kind of, it helps me, with all things to do with my career. And
Yeah,
it's nurturing, or nutritious, and it gives you a boost. So maybe I'll just maybe I'll just say that.
I'll take it. That's healthy. That's cool. All right. Now, what motivates you? You know, we all have those days that we just want to quit. So,
Mm.
how you manage to silence those toxic thoughts and to be back again on this road that you have built for so many years now?
Yeah, I think what motivates me is there's a few different things.
Yeah.
I try to think about everything in a big perspective.
Hmm. Hmm.
And, if I'm having a day where I don't feel motivated, I always try to push through and to harness the skill of being able to do something without feeling motivated. I think that is key. We cannot, wait to feel motivated or rely on motivation to to um to build.
Yeah.
So I honestly, I try to push through that feeling, think long term. I remind myself of my goals, why I'm doing this. I'm very results driven, so I'm very motivated by growth and seeing things work.
Hmm.
If I just kind of feel that I need a little boost, and workouts will give me a bit more of like a bit more of that juice, and or listening to one of like a favorite song, and just kind of getting into the beat of that will kind of also
Yeah.
help trigger some motivation. I love to listen to podcasts that motivate me, watch interviews with people that motivate me, all of these things. Yeah.
Incredible. That's really cool. And also, yeah, I mean, at the end, we all have those thoughts, right? But it's important to not let yourself involve into that. Otherwise, once you realize it's been already 2, 3 hours, you still, and you're wasting time for letting yourself involve into these thoughts, right?
Yeah, and I think time is of the essence. Time is the most valuable thing we have. We never get our time back. So it's incredibly important for me to be I'm very mindful of how I spend my time and how I can optimize things in my life. And yeah, it's important to just become aware of how we're spending our time, and to really take a look at that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, moving on here, tell me, like, also for those who don't know, what can you tell me about your latest film projects?
Yeah, so I had the pleasure of doing two feature films last year.
Okay.
Um, in the spring, I did a movie called Finding Odera, directed by Charles Daysh.
Okay.
It is a beautiful, charming love story that takes place in Lagos, Nigeria, and Toronto, and it kind of brings the two together beautifully. And it was an incredibly rewarding part, and it was so fun to experience a bit of Nollywood, which is the industry in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Mm-hmm.
a very lively set with lots of Nigerian groovy tunes, and we had a lot of fun, and I learned a lot. In the fall, I did a film called Cry of Silence, which is an action packed thriller directed by Alan Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this was a really empowering role, and it was the first time that I had to learn how to fight. So we had fight training in the months leading up to it. I got to work with a legendary stunt coordinator, Dwayne McLean, and it was a lot of fun. And they'll both be released this year.
There you go. I love it. And I mean that's incredible. You got like like that like the experience to learn and see new things here. That's awesome. Wow. And tell me, once those films are released, where can we watch them?
That I can't announce right this second, but I
Sounds like a plan.
will certainly let share that on my social media, and let people know when that's okay to say.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to it. That's really cool. Amazing. And also, I mean, what can I say about your career? It's incredible, but also the fact that you moved from another country, totally different language, culture, everything. You put that behind and you came to Canada and you have worked on your career. I mean, I know that it wasn't easy, and I'm super sure there were moments in which you were thinking about to go back or to be like, what the hell am I doing? But the fact that you managed to push forward and to not let yourself um let down by those thoughts that every now and then will come, and you keep and you kept pushing forward, and now that you are making results. I mean, I think that's proof enough for everyone who is either watching this or listening to it that dreams can come true, and also that of course there's this huge amount of hard work that you need to put, but you're doing it, you're getting results, and that's amazing.
Oh, thank you for those kind words.
Absolutely. I also want to thank those who watch this video. Thank you so much. Either if you're listening to it on Spotify or Apple Podcast, well, make sure to go follow Charlotte in her social media. Since this episode is about to be over, what you're gonna see on the description below, you're gonna see her link to her Instagram. Let's make her viral. Hashtag Team Charlotte because she's incredible. She's amazing. And again, thank you so much for making this happen. Keep creating, keep being this incredible, amazing, badass, super person you are. Because I'm super sure there hundreds of people out there who sees you as a role model, or at least who sees you as someone who can get things done. So keep doing what you do, keep inspiring, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you so much, Dan. Thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
Not a problem. Have a good one, okay?
You too.
All right.